Hello, it's Judith here. Last week I talked about what happens for a prospective client before they actually get to come and see me. So today I'm going to talk about what happens in the first session, because that's usually the one that troubles people most. As I work mainly with people with anxiety and fears and phobias, guess what? They're often very anxious about coming to the first session. And therefore it's my job to settle them as quickly as possible. I normally start by asking them how they feel, because not everybody's going to be anxious. So let's establish that, how they are generally and how they feel about being with me today. And then particularly with younger people, teenagers and children, I will reassure them that nothing is going to happen in the session that they don't want to happen. So they are free to tell me at any time if they don't like what I'm suggesting or what I'm doing, or if they want to stop. And that includes hypnosis. And I do that as well for anybody who I realise is really, really anxious. So very emphatically emphasising that they're in control, not me. I have a plan. I know what I want to do in the session, but if it doesn't suit them, then it doesn't suit them. And I had a young client recently who was very anxious, was pretty good during the early part of the session, but was not terribly comfortable about going into hypnosis. Now, he did give it a go, but he really was very, very uncomfortable about it. So we agreed that not only would we stop it for that session, but we wouldn't use hypnosis again. Unfortunately, I have a whole load of tools in my tool bag. So we've been using NLP and coaching and other mindfulness and other things that I've learned over the years, because for him, letting go and allowing himself to go into hypnosis was just not possible. Now, I'm hopeful that one day we might be able to do it, but if not, it doesn't matter. We can, and he has already make improvements in what's going on with him. Okay, so having got that introductory stuff out of the way, I tell them what's going to happen, which is what I'm just about to tell you. And that is, first of all, I look through the consent form if I haven't received it by email. If I've received it by email, then if there's anything on there that I want to ask questions about or have any comments about, then I will do that bit. And then we move into what in the trade is known as I was going to say history taking. It's not really history taking. It's just a general questionnaire. I will have had a chat with them on the phone, as I said last week, in about 99% of the cases, but some are longer than others, some are quite short. And what I need to know is two main things: how they are doing what they're doing. I mean, let's talk about anxiety. What being anxious means for them. What symptoms do they have? Where do they experience those symptoms? When do they experience those symptoms? What effect is it having on their daily life? And most importantly of all, what is it they want to achieve? What is their objective? It's really important to be very clear about where we're going. And also I ask, well, how will you know if we're going in the right direction? And how will you know when you've got there? So we look for some evidence that for them will mean they're making progress while they're working with me, and that they finished. The client always knows when they're done. I don't. It's the client's decision that they are okay. Either for now, for some people can only go so far and then they want a little rest, or in most cases, for the long term. And so that objective and the evidence to support the fact that we're working towards it and achieving it is really, really important. So we go through that questionnaire. Often when I'm asking the questions, all sorts of other things come up. So that, in fact, may turn out to be the whole session. And quite often, it's much longer than the session was planned to be. For a first session, I always allow a huge amount of contingency and a reasonable gap between this one and the next client, because sometimes people just need to talk. Sometimes they have had nobody that they could talk to about what's going on or has gone on in their lives, and they just want to get it out on the table. And so sometimes that's what happens. And I've had clients who will almost without any intervention from me talk for 2 hours. Frequently people will say to me, there are things here that I've never told anyone else. And that's a hard burden to carry, not talking to other people, not having anybody to talk to about stuff, whether it's current or historical, or even fears about the future. So that could occupy the whole of the rest of the session. And as I say, could go on longer, and I allow for that. And I'm kicking the stand. For some people, that is all they want. Not only in the first session, some people will come to the second session and say, actually, no, it's making a huge difference to me, just talking. So for that, we just then go into coaching, where my job is to ask the right sort of questions, to notice what they're saying. Often they skip past something which to me sounds really significant, so I will pull them back and say, hang on a minute, can we just talk about this? And out of that comes firstly awareness, self-awareness, and then between us, how can they deal with whatever it is they're now becoming more aware of in much more detail. Because typically what we do, particularly if we've got anxiety or any other uncomfortable feelings, we try to ignore them, we try to make them go away, we may try very hard to fight them off, but that doesn't work. And actually talking about them, sitting with them sometimes is the answer. Sitting with the feelings, or just talking about the feelings is the answer. Okay, but in many sessions, we'll get through the questionnaire in a reasonable amount of time, and then my aim is to give people an experience of hypnosis if they've never had it before. So typically in the first session, I will do something that's mainly focused on relaxation, because guess what? Anxious people don't know how to relax anymore, and has some therapeutic value, but it's all very, very, I was going to say very gentle. It's never not gentle. But this is particularly, it's not hard work. What I want is for them to have a really good experience of hypnosis and to come out of it feeling relaxed, refreshed, and optimistic that this is going to help them. That's the most important thing to end the session on. I probably said in the last video, I can't remember. When we're booking sessions, I say to people, book the first session, come and experience me and what I do, and then at the end I will ask you the question, do you think this is going to help you? Do you think this is right for you? Do you think I'm right for you? Would you like to come back again? And if the answer is yes, then we book in another session or sessions if people want to get it booked ahead. And if the answer is no, then we part on good terms, because, as I said last time, if no is the right answer for them, it's the right answer for me. I want to spend my time working with people that I can help. And if they don't feel it's right for them, I can't help. It's important that they feel comfortable with me and feel, as I say, optimistic that what I'm doing is going to help them. Fortunately, most of them do say yes, but it's really important not to have the people pleaser who will say yes just because they don't want to upset me. But actually, if it turns out in subsequent sessions, and we often don't get very far down, that this isn't right for them, then we'll have a discussion about it. Okay, so that is the first session. As I say, there are some variations depending upon the client and their issues and how they do what they do. You know, anxiety is like any other illness. We all do it differently, particularly mental illnesses. So our symptoms and the severity and the occurrence, the frequency is all different. And of course, everybody's life experience is different. So what has caused that anxiety is always unique to that person. Hence the need to talk about it, often at some length. So I hope that's helped. If you are teetering on the edge and thinking, actually, I would like to work on something, then please come and have a chat with me on the phone. And please, if that is right for you, come and see me for one session and make up your mind whether it's right for you, whether I'm right for you. And remember, whatever the right answer for you is, it's the right answer for me. Okay, well, I hope to see some of you, or hear from you at least, very, very soon. And until next week's video, or until you get in contact with me, it's bye for now. Have a good week. Enjoy November. It's not an enjoyable month, really. It's for many people, it's already Christmas, but for most of us, it's not yet Christmas, and it's dull and wet and cold and miserable. So enjoy what you can. And yeah, I had an interesting realization recently when I was on a retreat that we need this period of almost dormancy, of, you know, maybe withdrawing inside a little bit, pulling the curtains, lighting the fire, lighting the candles, and just relaxing and taking some time out in order that we can hit the new year and the spring running and reinvigorated. So I often think I'd quite like to go into hibernation from sort of now around to March, provided I didn't age in that time. So I want to be my age progression to be still as well. But yeah, I mean, you know, there's all sorts of things going on underneath in nature. Seeds are in the ground, but, you know, and they're getting ready to grow in the spring and all of that stuff. And maybe we should think about, maybe I, because I don't like winter, should think about winter like that. And maybe it's right for you. Anyway, I am really going now. So I will see you next time. And until then, take care of yourself. Bye.